How you doing, Fish Tank people? John 3107 2000, bringing it at you on a water change Wednesday. Update number 4. Month has gone by now for these update videos. Journal of the 20 long planted, getting to be heavily planted. Nice growth going on. Just kind of bringing it to you. Another week down. Got to do a water change on this afternoon. Lily's growing nice right there. First thing I'll bring to you is if you've seen my other videos recently, you know that I purchased 4 spotted Cories, expensive little guys from Petco. Put them in here. First thing I read is they don't do well in groups smaller than 6. Okay, 4 days later, right back to Petco, buy another 2. Long story short, when I was there the first time, they had a lone albino Cory who I can't see right now. He was just out, but of course he's hiding. I'm talking about him. He was alone. When I went back 4 days later, he was still alone. And I asked, and they're like, yeah, we really don't have plans to bring any more in right now. They're not a huge seller. They're not a rush item. I figured I have 6 of the spotted going, so I might as well go ahead and bring him home, see if he can get along with his cousins. So I did. That's a big no-no. You shouldn't do that, but I did. So he's in here as well. If he pops out, I'll be sure to throw him on video for you so you can see him. That's a big no-no. Another thing I read is that one of the biggest injustices you can do to Cories is not have them on sand. Although there are tons of videos of them in planted tanks doing just fine. And I don't know one planted substrate. Oh, there he is. I don't know one planted substrate that is made up of sand. So, really doesn't want to be on film. So, that was kind of a mixed message. But basically, because I capped it with this river rock, I think I've really helped them out. Basically, you don't want them on gravel because they can wear out those little whiskers that they have on the front. And those are the fish's taste bud. If you take those away, he probably won't eat and will starve to death. So basically, I'm going to watch him like a hawk. If it starts to be a problem, I will rip this river rock out. It won't be too difficult. It's large. I will rip this river rock out and put in sand. But I really don't think it's a problem because this river rock is so big. It's the large river rock, not just normal gravel size. I made sure of it. I went through it piece by piece to make sure of it. And there 99.9% of these rocks in here have no sharp edges. If they do, it's because a big rock broke in half somewhere while I was bouncing them around, washing them or dumping them in the tank or what have you. So they really can't hurt their little babels too much with this large river rock. So I've tried to be real careful. I'm gonna watch like a hawk, make sure that they're not getting hurt by this. If they are, I'm gonna pull it out and cap this with pool filter sand, which is the only sand I use because it's the largest grain sand that I know of that you can get, the heaviest grain sand you can get, so it doesn't get sucked up in your power filters and things like that, power heads, whatever you got going. It won't get sucked up into it. However, every time I've ever used it to cap anything, within 2 or 3 water changes, it's a complete mix. There's no cap, there's no underneath layer, it's a layer of mix. And that's exactly what I don't want to have happen. EcoComplete is designed to have pockets to catch food and waste and whatnot to sit there for the plant roots to get a hold of and eat. So putting the sand in there eventually through water changes and planting plants in here and whatnot, you're going to end up mixing it up. And as soon as you do that, all those pockets are gone. The sand's just going to fill up all those little pockets that are meant for fish waste and fallen food that's not, gotten, which the Cories need to survive. You're taking all that away, so you got to be careful. which is why I'm not in a big hurry to do that, because I'm afraid I'm going to end up hurting my plants just to suit my cories. So keep that in mind. I plan on getting friends for the albino, although I don't know if I can have 12 cories in this tank. I think that might be a little bit too much. But I may move them to a different tank and that'll open it up. Either way, I will have more cories in with him because that's what they need. Next thing I want to address is the new plants that I got. That is a new plant in this tank, but it actually was in my 55 for years. Basically, the top grew real well, the bottom grew real well, the whole middle was just empty stalk coming up. The top had roots, the bottom had roots, the middle had nothing. So I cut out the middle, planted the top in this tank, replanted the bottom in that tank, and this 2 days later, this already has new leaves growing out of the middle. 2 days in the Eco Complete. So there's that. Next new plant, beautiful Amazon sword, has 2 runners. That has a plant on it already and a little bud going. This one has 5 plants on it, 4 of it with at least that much root growth or more. When the lady put this one in the bag for me though, I don't know if I'll catch it. She snapped that runner right there, and I'm going to keep an eye on the 2 plants past that to make sure they're not dying. If they are, I'm going to snip that and plant those ASAP. But as for right now, I want to leave that, because if I look at the first plant on here, has no roots. So I want this runner to keep going so that roots, and then I can snip it off at the bottom and plant all 5 of those. But as of right now, I have 4 that I could plant if I chose. That one doesn't really have any roots yet. But long story short, I went in to buy the 2 more cories, got the albino cory, and saw an Amazon sword, not this one, a large one, sitting there with a beautiful runner coming off of it with like 3 plants. Ended up, yep, I need this. If you know me, in my 55 gallon, I have 2 beautiful Amazons in there. Different species, I believe, because one gets red, the other does not. But they don't shoot runners. I've had them for 3 years. They don't shoot runners. I don't know why, but they don't. So when I saw that one with the runner, I was like, I'm going to get that, put it in that tank. That way I can propagate Amazon sword. I shouldn't ever have to buy it again. Well, in pulling that one up, one of the leaves is wrapped in this other gorgeous, large Amazon sword. It broke my heart to put it back in the tank, so right in the bag to buy. I was walking away, and I saw this little tiny petite Amazon sword sitting there, and then I saw that runner coming off of it, and I was like, that's going to be perfect size for my 20 long, as of right now anyway. Perfect size for my Amazon sword. I don't think that's a micro Amazon sword or anything like crazy like that. I think it just is a baby with a great runner coming off of it, another baby runner coming off of it. So I ended up buying 3. I went in not expecting to buy any. I hate to give Petco their props, but whoever their supplier is gives them awesome plants. Their banana plants usually look great. I asked them, they don't fertilize them, they don't CO2 them, they don't do anything with them except throw them in an acrylic box filled with water. There's a great picture of most of my cories sitting there. Albino and 5 peppered sitting right there. But yeah, I mean, I hate giving them credit, and I'll show the other 2 when I get my 55 update up. Everything else is growing great. One more thing I want to touch on real quick, because I didn't want this much over 10 minutes. Alternative method for planting Java Fern, Anubis, any plant with a rhizome. And I want to give credit where credit's due. First of all, Dustin at Dustin's Fish Tanks. Thank you so much. Give him props. Check out his channel. Subscribe. All that good stuff. He is mad knowledgeable with plants. He will tell you how to cut them, how to trim them, how to propagate them, how to do everything. I've learned a ton off watching him. In saying that, I won't use dirt. I don't want the maintenance. I don't want to have to do water changes once a week. I don't want to have to worry about tannins leaking and all that crap. I don't. EcoComplete, 20 bucks a bag. I'll pay for the convenience. I have no problem with that. So that's why I don't use dirt. I agree it's probably better. Your plants will grow faster, but you're going to have fun keeping up with that tank. So I have 8 tanks as is. I don't really need that. So the other thing I wanted to hit on real quick, because I'm already over 10 minutes, Planted Tank Fan. Another guy, I watch his channel pretty much religiously, subscribe to him, learned a lot. One of the biggest things that I've learned recently is any plant with a rhizome, you can't really plant in the soil. The rhizome will rot and your plant will die. So basically what I've done and what he did, and I've just copied him again, is you plant the plants, like this Anubis is actually planted in the Eco Earth, for anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, and when you pull them up, the roots actually grab EcoComplete. And it will allow them, they're not planted right now, they're just sitting on top of the river rock. They're just being held down by what the roots have grabbed as far as the EcoComplete. So they're not planted, but they're being held down. I can kind of keep them in a cluster. And all I did was plant them for like a month. I'm probably going to rip that up today when I do my water change. Make sure that those roots have a couple, enough to hold it to the bottom of the tank. And then I'll just let it sit on top of the river rock. Same with that Java fern right there. Because eventually the rhizome will rot in there and it will kill all the leaves. So you don't want to plant that rhizome. It's got to be above the surface. So basically plant it for a month, let it sit, let the roots grab some of that EcoComplete, and then when you pull it up, it'll hold on to that EcoComplete and it'll keep it with enough weight on it to keep it down on the ground. And I'll try and get a shot of the Anubis later when I yank it up and that Corey's not trying to be a camera hog. But I definitely wanted to give them props because I've learned a ton off of watching their channels and kind of carbon copying them. Last thing I'm going to touch on is Corys are not algae eaters, so I plan on getting a couple Siamese algae eaters. The only thing I want to advise, because I really don't know too much about this subject, is be careful, because I know a lot of fish stores sell what they call Siamese algae eaters that are not. They are another type of fish that they sell and won't eat all the kinds of algae that a Siamese algae eater will eat. Now, you can find tons of videos online about how to spot the real deal and all that good stuff. So, don't worry that I don't have that information for you. Just type it into YouTube. You'll find it. I plan on getting probably 3 for this tank to keep the algae at bay. But that's pretty much it for this update, which is great. I actually went over almost by 5 minutes. So, rate, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to check out my channel for more update videos on the fish tanks, the planted tanks especially, the life inside of them, what I do to maintain. I have a video all about DIY, CO2, all that good stuff. So anything you want to know, if you have any questions, shoot me a comment or in a message on YouTube, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I see it. I appreciate it, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Another great fish tank day. Got to do a water change, so talk to you guys later.